Hi, everyone. Okay, so blessings and God's favor to you. Whoop, whoop. Okay, you guys. Hey, happy Valentine's Day. So I just realized I'm getting ready to go live and do a little heart-to-heart chat on Valentine's Day. So blessings and God's favor, you guys. Happy Valentine's Day to you. So you guys, I'm going to have a little bit of fun today with this live, okay? A couple things. I just keep having this phrase because of, I don't know if you guys read the book, Who Moved My Cheese, but I think that that's a book that everyone should read at least every year or every other year. I have these books that I read like every year and every other year. Also, remember to drop in the comments, you guys. I like to start every live asking you to drop in the comments something that you are thankful for, because we want to encourage you to live in a spirit of thankfulness. And then drop what city and state that you guys are in, because I'm really working hard to get to know what's important to you. Okay, so you guys, so who moved my cheese, or was the cheese ever even there to begin with? Was the cheese ever actually even there to begin with? So financially, right? Let me share this financial tip with you. One of the things that you want to do, and you'll know, was the cheese ever actually there, or did someone really move your cheese, right? So financially, when you're creating a new profit center, whatever that might be, direct sales, maybe you're in sales, maybe you're trying to start an Airbnb. I don't know what that would be for you, but you're creating a new profit center. So when you're starting a new profit center, or a new business, it's a lot different, because sometimes people think that they're self-employed or they have a business when they're really self-employed. So you got to kind of really know what it is that you're doing. But when we talk about who moved my cheese, or was my cheese ever actually there to begin with, you guys, with real estate, I did 1 year with some investors, almost the exact same transaction. It was, we bought, and for any of you guys who have been on any of my Zoom coachings, or you've been in any like live things I've done where I've done work on the board, we did the almost exact same scenario, right? Where it was this, investment property was purchased for this certain dollar amount. This is what the fee was, and the expenses. This is what we could rent that property for. This is what their monthly mortgage and taxes and all of those fees were. And so it was almost like identical, right? The exact same thing, we could duplicate it, and it was successful. So when you have a system of creating dollars or a profit that is successful, you keep duplicating it and you keep repeating it. But then somebody moved our cheese, and that was the interest rate. So the interest rate changed, so investors had to make an adjustment, right? Well, the reason I started asking the question, was the cheese ever there to begin with, is because there is something that's happening in the online space where you guys are getting good information, but it's good information wrapped with misinformation, and maybe even exaggerated information, which is causing people to create plans based on that information, right? So then you start getting this desire to create this thing for yourself financially based on the misinformation and the good information and the exaggerated information, all wrapped together in one lump sum. So financially, you guys, we always talk about tracking. We always talk about, so how do you not fall like into this pit? Because this is my concern. I don't want people to keep falling into the possibility of losing a lot of money versus the possibility of creating a big profit, right? So when you are starting something new, one of the things that you should do, right? When you're building your house, you should know what you're going to do from start to finish. That's a biblical principle, right? Before you build something and establish something, you should know what it is from start to finish. And a lot of people talk about starting with the end in mind and then working backwards. And so you should know how to do that, okay? But you want to take a look at what the profit potential is, and then you want to calculate, assess, reassess, calculate, decide what action that you're going to take. And when you're creating a new profit center, you should do this daily. And that's how you can stop yourself right away from digging yourself into a financial pit that's going to take you years to get out of. Okay, so you really, really want to think about that before you start a new profit center, or you're even doing something like an Airbnb. You know, I am all for increasing. You guys, you know, 5 steps to getting on track in your personal finances, right? Decrease unhealthy debt, increase your income. This increases your ability to give more, grow your bank account, and track everything. So I'm all for making sure that you're increasing your income so that you stay ahead of inflation. However, I'm not for, right, digging yourself into a pit because you went to apply something and then you didn't measure and assess and calculate everything well, right? So before you start a project, a financial project, you guys, that's what you want to do. You want to calculate, assess, you want to map everything out. But then while you're in it and while you're doing it, you want to do that daily. You want to calculate, assess, reevaluate, decide what you're going to do daily so that you don't dig yourself into a financial pit. Okay, so that's just kind of what I wanted to share with you guys today. Happy Valentine's Day. But you know, because sometimes people are making plans to have a potential profit, right? So it's like, who moved my cheese? But the cheese was never actually there to begin with, right? So it's one thing if you actually have a system that's working and then you're duplicating it over and over again, and then somebody moves your cheese, like the interest rates go up. But it's another thing to create a plan for a profit center based on misinformation, wrapped with good information, right? Wrapped with, what did we say? Exaggerated information. So the cheese was never there to begin with, you guys, right? So that's just something you want to evaluate for yourself. But okay, I always want to end every talk by saying, oh, you guys, I know I say this because, you know, we're starting a YouTube channel, Terry Collins Proverbs 31 Lifestyle. So if you're not on our email list, get on our email list, and then also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, you know, I'm a novice. So if you're actually watching this on YouTube, then hit the subscribe button. But I always also want to end by encouraging you and to know that you are the one, right? You're the one who's meant to master your finances. You're the one who's meant to do that thing that God is placing on your heart and mind. Whatever that thing is, you think it's small and insignificant, but it is huge. It is huge. I mean, I'd like to share also, like, for example, you guys, I went to a Speak and Write conference. So I was going to end it, but let me just share this. I went to a Speak and Write conference last year with Lisa Nichols, and I'll tell you, that changed me. And when you really take a look at what she's doing, she is teaching people how to communicate well. Now, who would have thought that you could make income at the income level that she's making at by teaching people how to communicate things well? So I believe it's because it's her anointed steps, and it's what she's meant to do, and she's learned how to excel at that. It's her gifting. So you have a gifting, whatever it is that God is placing on your heart and mind to do, you know, sharpen your saw, you know, fine tune that gifting. Do it. You're meant to be the one to do it. That's why it's on your heart and mind to do. Stop. I wrestled with God for so many years. Stop wrestling with God, right? So, all right, you guys, blessings in God's favor. As always, from my heart to yours, may God bless your efforts to be physically and financially healthy and strong. Happy Valentine's Day, you guys.